We're going to move on into our first battle of this match. It's match number 3 for tonight. We have 2 more matches after this. Let's go ahead and kick it off on Ensk with Pupstars against Rockstown. And here we go, 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s out for Pupstars. On the other side, look at this diverse setup. A 110, an IS-3, a 5100, a T-69, and a T-28 Protector. Now, I've ran into the T-28 Protector a couple times.
Protector? Prototype. Oh, but you call it the Protector?
I call it the Protector.
That's awesome. And then on the side of his T.
That's so funny. I always
Protector.
It just seems like it's a T-28 Protector. I always read it as a T-28 Protector.
Well,
but it always says PROT. I was just like, okay,
I think Protector does sound better than Prototype.
Thank you, guys. We're going to call it the T-28 Protector.
Although
How
from
now
cool
on,
is that?
We've renamed it.
For a Protector with an inscription, Welcome to Hell, it's kind of...
I was looking at the side of that and I was like, oh yeah, this guy knows what's up. Just Welcome to Hell on the side of his tank.
Exceptionally good against Artie. Jokes.
Jokes. You got jokes today.
I got jokes.
It is open topped. By the way, open top tanks do I do believe still receive a penalty against Artie when they take hits from HE. Pretty much that open top, you take so much damage.
Oh, it hurts.
Getting one shot a lot by upper tier Artie and those things is pretty commonplace. However, you do have a nice turret that turns.
Ooh.
And actually fights brewing right here, guys.
Yes, sir. Indy is going to take the first shot on Equinox. Equinox down to 685 health already. Wick going to poke out a little bit. Take the shot. Equinox just down to 58 health, and down he goes. Zevin will pick it up, but wow, a big return. Independent is going to be destroyed over here.
Miserable goes in with his T1 and absorbs a shot from Schifferobe, who just fires and wastes a shell on a T1 instead of putting it into any other tank. Miserable doing a fantastic job.
LHP is going to be taken out here. Wow, a lot of trades going on back and forth. Captain No Pants is going to stay alive despite having good crossfire against him. The 110 being played by Klaus von Angry is looking to be prioritized right now, as he's not looking too good, as 4 tanks are starting to surround him completely. The 110 armor not going to be that great. And the T-28 Protector, he's going to go down pretty soon, guys.
We didn't even get to see him try to perform in this tank. It's just, it doesn't even matter at this point. He is 1v4. It's just, it's not even fair. Very unfortunate. I kind of wanted to see if he could, you know, perform well in this tank and actually do something awesome on Ensk. It's no hope, though.
No hope, ladies and gentlemen. Galaxy Bane over on the other side is being taken out as we speak. But it looks like a very swift win for Pupstars, as there is a counter cap. One last-ditch effort on the red base for Rockstown.
And Galaxy Bane is getting chased down by Zevin. He's just hoping and praying that he can just at least get away. Run, Galaxy Bane, run! But I think this 5100 is going to catch him.
Can he do enough ram damage, though? That's the question.
He can do enough ram damage.
Too many tons. Too fat.
Too big.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be game victory. Goes to Pupstars. Cleaning up a 1-0 advantage right away. That was pretty decisive.
That was incredibly decisive.
There's a lot of stuff that go into that. I feel like the return fire from Rockstown is actually pretty good.
But it wasn't focused.
I mean, there were...
it wasn't
correct.
prepared. They didn't scout ahead. It was not prepared for that kind of a push.
Exactly. I mean, they got proxy spotted by Miserable. They should know exactly what's coming up. IS-3 being caught so early in the game, they were able to just poke out. Those pokes, I feel like, shouldn't work nearly as well as they did, but Pupstars
we saw previously when they didn't work in another match, but this time there wasn't any real support fire to punish that kind of poking and maneuvering.
Yeah, as Nagatron likes to say, there weren't enough vectors there to really substantiate to really deny some sort of poke out like that. And corner games with those IS-3s against very open tanks that aren't able to duck behind cover, you're always going to lose. So Nice play by Pubstars. I mean, it felt pretty flawless.
It was well executed, although I don't know if there was... you've said this before, they're just not against an opponent that's...
Correct. The skill differentiation is already seen as really, really high compared to their opponents, right? Like, Pubstars definitely look like they're super, super advanced relative to their opponents. They have the better strats. They have the better skill. Even in this first game, we're able to discriminate that. John, what's your thoughts on that last battle?
I think the fundamental problem with that engagement, that brawl in Ensk, was that most of the time Pubstars was fighting with a tank advantage in terms of numbers. They pushed, they got an early IS-3 out. Even when, like you said, when Miserable got lit there, you knew what was coming, but the T-28 prototype never moved. You saw, by the time he showed up for the fight, everyone was essentially gone. So you have that and a dead focused fired IS-3. It's really a 5-on-3 for most of that fight, and you're not going to win with that. I think if the prototype flexed a little sooner, the moment Miz was shown, was lit, you had to know what was coming. I think if you moved in a little bit, there's more crossfire there, and who knows what could have happened then, but it wasn't, so.
And you're saying it wrong. It's C-28 Protector.
Right,
Thank you.
I need to fix that.
It's funny, I used to I still do. I cast StarCraft a lot of times. In the very beginning, when I started my casting career, there was this map called, what was it called? I don't know. It was like Antigua Shipyard LE. And I was like, oh, LE, must be a limited edition. And I just fill in the blanks like that. And I would say, oh, yeah, this is Antigua Shipyard, limited edition. And it's actually ladder edition. And I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense.
Oh.
But T-28 Protector just sounds so much better.
It's nice. I like it.
I know.
Although I don't know if we're going to see many more Protectors.
Well, we'll see as we move on to our next battle. We're going to take a short commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back. The continuation of this series, match number 3 in the qualifiers for Season 2. Don't go anywhere. Pubstars versus Rockstound in battle number 2. We're heading over there on Mines, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a very interesting battle for our next engagement. I feel like, I've said it before, Pubstars just looking like they just have more and more skill and experience than Rockstown, but we can be surprised. We were surprised with Gentleman Gaming against the lot. I can never remember the name.
Landing Zone Slayers.
Landing Zone Slayers. Thank you.
There's an S at
Landing
the end of
Zone Slayer.
Yeah, I think they were going for those S's at the end in kind of like a weird alliteration thing.
Yeah, that's tricky. But
yeah.
when it comes down to it, it's going to be tough, especially seeing the T-28 prototype being used. It just shows me that there might be a disconnect in the 742 matchup.
It was cool, though, that they brought so many different tanks. They had a 110. They had a T-28 prototype. They had this breadth of Tier 8 tanks. And they decided to vary it up. And there's a lot of potential there to do some very cool things with your tanks. You had a 110, and he was mounting the 100 mil there, so he was a DPM machine. You had an IS-3. He has a BL-9, big, slow 122. You have a T-28 prototype, protector. With, I actually don't remember the...
Okay, we're going to scratch the protector from now on. Okay? I will never read it like that when I go brawling.
Yeah. But it was so diverse, and it had so much potential. Part of me just wanted to see it work.
Well, we'll see how they do in the next battle, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be on Mines.
Miserable is going to take a hit. Oh, he's taking hits from a T1, not from 1390. We got wasted shots here.
Well, now you did.
Now he's dead.
And you know what? All the Pubstars are out of position.
But Klaus is taking a few hits here, and the low tractor goes down.
There's a full push through over on the east side, and I agree with this. Now the 1390s are coming up from the southern side, looking to actually probably push on the hill to catch some of those tanks out of position. No, actually the 1390s are coming right behind, looking to directly support. Scared that all these medium tanks are going to be isolated immediately, and then, obviously 3 against 5, not a good situation. But now I feel like this is great position over on the side of Rockstown. They have center control. They have the majority of the map, and I think the only option for Pubstars is just go into brawl mode.
Yeah, they're going to have to, but
And we spent all that time talking about pub stars forcing
Yeah.
a cap
Yeah.
Look
bait,
at this.
and look at it.
Rockstown.
I'm impressed by Rockstound. I didn't feel like they were actually in any layout to make that kind of a push, but they're waiting until the very end. I don't know why, because in 30 seconds, the map will end, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a draw here unless Cap is 16, 15 seconds, 22 seconds, 37 seconds, and there's no chance for Cap anymore, guys. It's probably going to go to a draw if Captain No Pants, Rella, and Red Paradise can live for 20 more seconds.
Yep, Red Paradise is at full HP right now, and if it's very possible that all these French tanks are clipping right now, it's very, very difficult to really say. But, you know, you have a main engagement. 1390s won't be able to do full damage against all of these tanks. So I think so. We're going to have a draw, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the tank choice, we got a 5100 Pershing, T69, and two 1390s on the side for Pub Stars. Two 5100s, two 1390s, and a T69. Almost an all-French lineup for the team Rockstown. John, take it away. Is this a map where it's heavily dependent on your opponent, or can you really make stuff happen if you really, really know the map?
I think I go back to a statement that Soviet made back in Vegas that this is a really complex map, and I think the reason why it gets played the way it does currently, which is a lot of either cap fast or camping based on what we saw in season 1, they don't. That's an indication of the fact that, you know, because it's so complex, that's the result of what we got. I've heard the comparison that sometimes this map gets played almost like Prokhorovka does, in the sense that, you know, you get in, you know, a lot of teams end up on both different sides of the map and just sit because they're afraid to, you know, aggress on the other team. And a lot of that has to do with how this map kind of is physically set up in terms of all the camo.
Real quick here, we got shots out going on Germaria as Galaxy Bane was taken out on a mid-scouting bit of a run. He was going up towards the Abbey and taken down by one of the 1390s. That was, which 1390 was that? That was Marsh in the 1390 over there in the mid. And now Jeremiah was actually pushing way up. He is on the north side of the Abbey now. And it looks like even other members of Pub Stars have pushed up. Nice map control out of the Pub Stars. Looks like that's two T1s they've left at their own base to cover and potentially defend.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Red Paradise coming up the northeastern side. They've basically triangulated the position of their opponents. It's very common to use that the northwestern or the southwestern side as a very turtly position. You have great crossfire onto the cap to really stop any cap pressure, or at least dissuade them from going onto cap without taking a lot of damage to begin with. But it's going to be tough from here. This is the position that I see consistently. And, you know, so far I'm very unconvinced,
Red
guys.
Paradise is spotted by Gottfried, but is Gottfried spotted? He seems...
Yes, he is.
He is?
He is spotted.
Oh, poor guy. Shots going out on Gottfried, but it misses, and he's going to be able to slip away. Just a lot of wasted potential. I don't think Gottfried will live much longer because guess what? A T69, that away. Just
No, it was Captain No Pants.
That was
in
No
5100.
Oh,
That
where's
was-
No Pants?
That was No Pants.
Where's No Pants?
No Pants is all the way over in D4 alongside with his T69 friend,
Oh.
Independent.
Well, I got the direction right. Just didn't get the right tank.
So it is 7v5, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, it's only two T1s. What did I just say? I'm just kidding. Two T1s mean a lot. And they are going ahead and rotating one of the T1s off of that cap, or not off cap, but off of a defensive posture just to spot things out over to the north side, looking to probably cap things out, I would expect. And there he is, over there. It's miserable in that T1. Going to be moving on up. But just very defensive play coming out of Rockstound. And
Yeah, they're just trying to cover every single angle and not really going for much else. I mean, they're in really mobile tanks, and they're not doing anything with them, and I'm disappointed. But on the other side, Pub Stars, I do like what they've got. They've got some great control. They've got their enemy kind of pushed into the back. Now they just have to, you know, kind of maybe shift around a little bit, and they might be able to get a few free hits. That's what they're looking for, I think, because they don't want to aggress. Aggressing on the position of Rockstown right now could be suicide just because you make the wrong move, you get spotted too early, a bunch of tanks come around and just nuke you. So they're going to probably play this cautiously. They've got 5 whole minutes to play the scouting game. And it looks like there's Red Paradise trying to see what he can do over in the northeast.
Red Paradise hasn't moved yet. They're not even playing the scouting game.
Oh, I thought
They're just staying
he's...
still.
Oh, very still? Oh.
And here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I feel like this is the tough part about Abby. You can work so hard just to get this type of position, be up 2 tanks, and still not be able to break this, because think, there's no tier 8 rule. There's no T2 rule.
There's no T anything rule.
There's no T anything rule. You have to kill every single one of these tanks. I do want to say, though, that it works out really nicely. I mean, in all theory, we could have a 2-minute push by Pub Stars, and you just hide.
Independent has made a push, and he is underneath Klaus von Anger. Klaus takes 2 big hits and goes down to 598 hit points. That's the kind of move we needed out of Pub Stars. That is the answer. That is an uncovered approach, only getting spotted by proxy. And now a nice amount of control, very strong control going to Pub Stars. They'll even put cap pressure on, and here we go. They're going to screen the cap as they put the pressure on. They've set a timer for their opponents. I love it.
Yep. Red Paradise is going to start that. No, I'm sorry. Miserable is going to start that out, of course, with that T1 Cunningham. Independent and Germaria are right around the corner with that T69 and Pershing. The 2 medium tanks just going to head the front. Can they do it, though? And
Forward,
oh my
Jeremiah.
God, 1390 is going to go down here. Equinox is in the middle of everything. A big surround on these 2 medium tanks. Independent is going to go down, and Germaria now going to gun down. But these are a lot of auto-loaders putting out all their shells. 2 tier 8s for 1 tier 8, but there's a lot of clipping going on right now.
Yep. And it looks like Captain No Pants is trying to put out what shells he can. Steel Horse, though, makes him have to retreat into cover. Equinox has taken a little bit of damage, and so has Chifero, but they're going to get off cap now. Red Paradise booking it out, and so is Miserable. That little engagement did not go as planned for the Pub Stars. Not enough cover fire, I'd say.
Yeah. We'll see how they actually do it, though. It's not terribly bad because, remember, a lot of these French tanks will be clipping very soon, and when that happens, they just get the right shots instead of taking shots from very far away. Just looking at it right now, 3 tier 8s. Actually, things are tied up as Pub Stars was able to take out LHP33 or something. Yeah, LHP333, excuse me. Now a lot of shots going on in this 8MX5100. And things look really good for Pub Stars as they're wrapping around the corner. Captain No Pants is heading the charge. Down goes Schifferope, and all that remains is Equinox in that 13-9. Never mind, Steel Horse is the last person left, down to 842 hit points. Red Paradise closing on in. Captain No Pants knows it too. Looks like this 5100 is clipping, and down it goes. Actually, it wasn't. Gets one last shot on Marsh. And victory goes to Pub Stars. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading over to battle number 4 between Pub Stars and Rockstown. My name is Andre Gurtor-Pengshaw. I forgot to actually introduce us for a very long time. This is Randall Rookhill Holcomb. And over on the side is John Lowe, a.k.a. Tofu Smurf. There he is.
Hey.
What a handsome nerd.
Thank you.
We're all here commentating the qualifiers for Season 2. This is the last qualifier to get into the league and also earn a part of that $100,000 prize pool. We're in the middle of a series between Pub Stars and Rockstown. Going over to Himmelsdorf, we don't actually have time to talk about it right now because they're already loaded in. Let's get into it. Himmelsdorf, our next map. Here we are, 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s and 2 T1s on the side for Pub Stars. On the other side, look at this, 2 IS-3s, a 5100, a Pershing, and a T69.
That's weird.
That is really weird. Why bring a Pershing?
It's consistent fire, very maneuverable, but this is Himmelsdorf, guys.
Yeah.
Where heavies rule. And if we can see a Pershing, prove itself here, I'd love to see it, but I'm not a big fan of Pershing. It's too light. I don't feel like it's going to be able to use its maneuverability. Now, Miserable does get picked off in the beginning as he tries to cross the middle courtyard in a super aggressive move, just gambling on the fact that his opponents would not be ready. But
That's
guess what? Rockstound.
Both teams setting up in the football format, just lining up on the D line, lining up on the G line. This is the absolute most standard thing that you can do. There's been a lot of changes in meta. Of course, hill games are really good. Going over to the northwestern area has been very common. Southwestern, very common. But over here, we see actually
I
a
love
push.
this approach out of Pub
Wow.
Stars. They got spotted pushing up, and Gottfried von what is his last part of his name? Gottfried von. Oh, it's just Gottfried von. Moved back in order to an expectation, but Marsh then took a left where he was not expected, and now you've got interesting pressure, I'd say, on Rockstown.
That's right. Independent took one shot, and his IS-3 needs to be a little bit careful. Another shot goes down as he tries to poke out and do a little bit of damage inside of those cubbies.
Looks like Indy bounced, trying to shoot Pershing Klaus von Angry.
Yeah, kind of crazy. LHP 333 is down to 894 hit points, takes one shot, and boom on Marsh 166. Needs to be a little bit careful. Marsh is out in the open, but that's probably the last time LHP 333 can make a shot like that. Wick all the way in the back, looking to just come around the corner and get good shots on the Pershing and the IS-3 Steelhorse and Klaus von Angry. But as it stands, it's a little bit tricky for both of these teams. You might think that these two players, these two IS-3s, Wick and Marsh,
takes a big hit.
You might think these IS-3s are out of position, but they're in an open space, and the other three tanks are backing them up to the point where if any tanks are exposed, they can instantly get a shot. So you can't isolate these two IS-3s that well.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. They're both teams are going to have to kind of just wrestle with each other as much as they can. I expect to see T1s try and do something with this. It's Gottfried or Yankee. If they can do something on either of the flanks, we actually see Yankee, for example, in the southeast. If you guys look at the mini map real quick, that T1 is going into the backfield. If he can put some interesting pressure out there, and if he could cap pressure kill another T1, he could turn the tide of the fight. In the meantime, it's just going to be a matter of shooting from hull downs back and forth for a little bit. A very slow game to see if either team. Ooh, Klaus takes a big hit in his Pershing right to the turret.
Needs to be careful. I feel like, what would be a great way to actually break this up?
Wow.
HE rounds.
HE.
Boom.
Oh, Klaus takes a huge hit to the side as Wick actually decides to push a little bit up with 5-6 line as Klaus backs down from the hull down. Very good play right there. That's Indy forcing Klaus back. Klaus then backs down into Wick's fire.
LHP 333 doing corner games against Marsh. You don't want to do that. 200 damage being done against Marsh. 400 damage being done against LHP 333.
Can't trade like that in
Cannot.
a medium tank.
That's not what T69s are for. They're meant for being second tanks in. They get the free shots and just get away. Just do the damage. Pick apart the right tanks, and from there they just get out and reload and go in for round number 2. A
In the
little bit
meantime,
interesting.
Yankee, take a look at that in the backfield.
Oh wow!
Is trying to play games with a T1, although shots fired on Yankee.
No, not yet. Galaxy Bane.
That is not Yankee. That is Gottfried. I'm reading the wrong name. Excuse me.
Well, Galaxy Bane and Yankee are approaching each other. They're trying to play this nice little game. Galaxy Bane needs to be careful because an IS-3 is right around the corner.
Right there.
Independent ready, and that actually gives a huge advantage to the Pub Stars. Now they can take Yankee, who was in the backfield expecting a T1 to show up, and he can now take.
He can rotate.
He can rotate into the enemy's cap even.
Yes.
And with that kind of pressure, just throw this entire stalemate that we have right here, this really tough position, completely off balance into the favor of Pub Stars.
Marsh preparing for some reverse angling over here.
Klaus is going to be actually, if Yankee pushes up the 8 line, he could go down to Klaus von Angry, who is watching the D line. So
Wow.
just wait in.
Look
it's
at
going
this.
to be just a few
Actually,
seconds.
Steel Horse is way out of position. Marsh, 166, and Wick, and Captain No Pants are actually going to round this corner. As
Cross fires.
Oh, this
and
isn't
backs up.
looking good.
Just in time. Yankees probably going to cross right now. Look at that. They're picking a fight just as they're screening Yankee to go to the cap. If this fight does not go in favor of Pubstars, which it should, at the very least they will have some proper cap pressure.
Yeah, this is forcing a move up. Schifferobe is able to do a little bit of damage, but Indy and 7 are coming over from that G line. Steel Horse now in the front, probably going to be prioritized as Indy just steps over that big mound, and he's going to have shots on Steel Horse so easily. Ooh, big miss from Steel Horse, I believe. Maybe he hit Marsh, excuse me, but Steel Horse now going to go down to Wick.
And cap pressure being put on. It's not going to
Doesn't
really
even
matter,
matter.
but the fight went in favor of Pubstars. Well timed, well executed, understanding their enemy's layout and how they would be forced to react. Just good job by Pubstars on Himmelsdorf. Slow game, tense game, finally coming to an end.
Yeah, that's going to clean out the series, ladies and gentlemen. That's 3 wins for them in this best-of-5 series. Equinox, the last tank. Marsh coming in from behind. Independent stepping forward. No, he's not going to step forward because Marsh is in the way. How dare you. Independent now lining up the shot, and he will get the closing blow. Nope, he's just going to ram.
Looks like Independent has controlled impact on his IS-3, doing 46 damage with the ram while taking only 16.
There it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Pubstars going to be your victors, 3-0-1, cleaning out the series, and some really fast games that we got going over here in today's matches.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I like the Pubstars execution on Himmelsdorf. That was very nice.
Definitely so. It was very methodical, as we saw before, taking in the information, processing it, and then making the correct moves. Of course, the T1 kill, so important. I'm so glad that we that you brought attention to it. But John, what were your thoughts on that last battle?
I just think that a lot of that came down to the brawl there, right there in the middle. I think Pubstars just played that brawl so much better. They were able to, focus out low health tanks. They were allowed to spread the damage, spread their health, keep low health tanks alive, and it was just superior play.
Definitely so, and this is something that we can expect from Pubstars. They showed it in the first qualifiers. They're now showing it over here, and that is why a lot of these teams are actually fearing the Pubstars. And I've heard beforehand a lot of the pro players in the WGLNA say, "Oh yeah, Pubstars guaranteed to move on from qualifier number 1." Of course, they were wrong. Cazadores was able to show some outstanding performance, but qualifier number 2, again, pro players are saying Pubstars.
Yeah, I really think Pubstars should make it. If they don't, I'd be incredibly surprised. Yeah. They've got such a lineup of tankers that if they don't, I don't know what's wrong. There has to be something wrong in that team that just throws all of that skill, all of that experience off that we just can't identify sitting here and not, getting to know them that intimately.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Pubstars is moving on up in qualifier number 2. Our next match for you, match number 4, will be Refuse to Die versus Punished. It's going to be a really interesting match. Refuse to Die, we know them as a relegated team coming out from the WGLNA Season 1, but they've turned things around, looking really strong. Punished, one of the newer teams trying their luck at this qualifiers. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, continuation of the qualifiers. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WGLNA Season 2 qualifiers.